What's good, YouTube? I personally want to say that this is not a sponsored video, and it's actually interesting to look at Troll and Toad's hot buys, because these are cards that they're going through high volumes of, and they need more in quickly. And they limit the quantity to 12 per seller, but even if 12 of these go into stock, the price usually doesn't lower too fast for them. So these should stay the same for a while because they're going through a high volume. But I'm actually going to be telling you guys cards I would not sell them on this list in combination with cards I would sell them on this list. And it is very interesting for the market to know that they're going through high volumes of these cards. And like I said, some of these I didn't know. Starving Venom Fusion Dragon has been one of those cards that is flip-flopped all over the place. Look at this. The lowest is at about 11 some odd dollars, and then $11.54 here as well, with First Ed Near Mints as well in the mix here at about 12. Now, after fees, you're getting offered $9, and you'd have to pay fees and shipping, and I'm sure you could probably sell Troll more cards than just Starving Venom Fusion if you're sending it in. So while you're still spending shipping, being able to combine to one seller is often good if you have more of these cards, but you'd be breaking even pretty much by selling to them on this card versus having to list and sell it yourself and then send it to who knows who. But there are quite a few other cards on here that interest me. Now, Hope Harbinger happens to be much higher on TCG Player than it is on eBay, whereas Starving Venom is much higher on eBay than it is TCG. And the flip-flop's going to be really drastic for a lot of cards right now. We're in that kind of sellers and buyers market where a lot of cards are going to start moving really fast and become cheaper and cheaper. But a huge thing to remember on this card, it's a candidate for the Megatons, unlike Hope Harbinger, who's $8.50 on eBay. You know, just $2 cheaper here. And they're buying it at $6.50, I believe. Yeah, here we are, Hope Harbinger, $6.50. Definitely interesting that they're paying over 75% on this card versus its eBay price. But Hope Harbinger, not using the meta so much. I understand a lot of people kept their Blue Eyes deck. Rank 8s are still popular in many decks, but as we head towards Link format, even though it has its one printing only, I would consider letting it go at that price. That's a pretty good price. Another card that would be really good to let go at the price, Seraphinite. We see it at $9.50 here, and $9.59 here. After fees and shipping, $7 is a very, very similar price. And like I said, if you're actually selling them more than one kind of card, typically you're going to beat what you would get after fees and shipping, since you're all combining shipping to one buyer. And Troll has a pretty good customer service from what I've experienced. I've sold them cards a lot better than that Troll and Toad Near Mint you all make jokes about. But definitely these three cards would be on my radar to sell them. They're paying pretty well, especially for a card that could be in the Megatons just right there and is already selling relatively close to that $9 they're offering. If I had mine listed on TCG Player, I'd probably just toss it over to them. This is one that I would be on the fence about selling them. They're paying $6, which is only 60% on this card. But I actually didn't know it was up here. I didn't know this was a $10 card. I had no inclination that it had any sort of price close to this. And it's actually a low of 12 here on eBay for the English. So again, TCG Player, it's just huge price differences between both platforms today. It's really odd to me. And it's back and forth, but Return of the Dragon Lords at $10 on TCG, and it would be 50% if you're looking on eBay. I think, personally, I wouldn't, but I could also see this $6 almost gets you, like, back what you paid on the structure versus 10, so I could see it, but personally, I would look for another venue to sell my Return of the Dragon Lords. But I actually, like I said, I had no clue this was up here, and that's another good reason to come over to their hot buys. Sometimes you really don't know what stuff is worth, and you can like look at their prices and then compare it. This is one of those cards that was completely off my radar and is now on my radar to pick up when I'm trading. I probably wouldn't have looked it up and just said 5s are fine to somebody if I was trading them. I would have been like, yeah, it can't be more than 5. This guy's offering 5. That seems meaty. That's a starter deck card, but I would have got walloped if I was just being trusting and doing that. So again, there's some really good reasons to come over here at times. And another one, Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon Gold Rare. It's $3 lowest here on TCG. I didn't even bother looking it up on eBay. $2.50 here. A stamp's 44 cents, so if you're sending them a bunch, like, you're automatically winning versus shipping it out singularly and then eating fees on TCG or eBay. That 30-cent PayPal fee on eBay is killer on the lower cards. Another card that I didn't pull up, but I probably wouldn't sell them, I talked about in the last Market Watches, was Chiwin. I'd probably be keeping my Chiwins at a price of $4.50. But again, it shows that it is actually moving in the market. Dark Magical Circle, I believe, is like $32 lowest on TCG. 24 is over 32 is actually a decent percentage, and it's a candidate for the Megatons. That's really your call. I don't have any advice on this one. I believe I have the Wind Witches pulled up somewheres abouts here. Here we go. Glassbell would be a pretty good sale. It's at $2 lowest on here, and then 220s. I think that's a pretty good sell overall. At the $1.50 mark, 75%. That's great from a vendor. Icebell, however, has spiked. Maybe their system hasn't caught it that it's spiked, because usually they do pay really well on trending cards. And we see it's at 737 over here. It's spiking with the Invoke cards from the previous Market Watch, so it's understandable that they'd be behind on this, but calling it a hot buy, because versus its original market price, I guess you can't see the original market price here, how I have it cut out. It's at $5.86 on TCG Player right now, so understandable that they would fall behind on that. And like I said, I had this pulled up because Invasion of Vengeance, highly likely candidates for the Megaton. Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, I think, would be no exception. That's a huge reason why I would be selling it to them right now. Dimensional Barrier here, under 20, also and totally awesome, were two cards I wanted to talk about as well. Dimensional Barrier just keeps falling. It doesn't limit links. It's not going to get an errata for all of you guys wishing. I'm sure they'll create links summoning restrictive cards later on through link formats, but towards the beginning of links being out, they're going to want links to succeed. I remember the motto used to be, Konami wants Xyz to succeed. They're going to want links to go hard and do well at the beginning, so they're definitely not. Any rumor you hear about that, no, not at all. Totally awesome, though. It's getting towards that price that's tempting. If it's not in the 10s for whatever reason, this is one of those cards that will go up. They just printed a new Nimble Monster. It's basically a one-card Totally Awesome, but you're going to be setting up with Link Monsters and then setting up your Toads, in my opinion, and we should see some interesting decks that definitely work together. If Seraphonite somehow doesn't get hit, which I super think it does, which is another reason I'd be selling them now at the price they're getting, I would think that some kind of Brilliant Fusion combo with the new Nimble Monster would be really, really insane for setting up into Link Monsters, into Double Toad. You're still going to see Double Toad fields here and there. Spiral Super Agent is only $3 on eBay, but, oh, I guess I lost it. It's 4 on TCG Player right now, so, it's interesting to see that it's spiked so fast on TCG Player that it spiked up about $2 now from last night when it was like $2.75 at the very first announcement. And then the final cards I was going to say that I probably wouldn't sell Troll on their hot list is Beals. Beals over here at 27, but again, a huge gap, $5 gap versus eBay, a near mint copy. But then it quickly does go up as well. Troll's only paying 16, but again, these are cards that are highly fluctuating, and so I'm going to link Troll's hot buys down below. It's just kind of the sauce to get on what's trending. Sometimes a little late, but other times, things that might not have been on your radar at all, like Return of the Dragon Lords, it's a really good place to look, and you never know when you're going to find deals. Like, this $2.50 over $3, that's a really high percent from a vendor. And you're able to send 12 of each at once, and if it clears and the price doesn't change, you're able to just do it again, which these prices tend to have high volume on what they're accepting. So, like I said, going back through, I have no idea on Soul Charge. I didn't check. I figured it's low. Seraph Knight would sell, Starving would sell, Beals would not sell at 16. Hope Harbinger would sell, Glass Bell would sell, Ice Bell, it wouldn't, not at 4. It's up right now to 7. Like I said, understandable they'd miss it. Return wouldn't sell, but wasn't on my radar at all, and I could understand why people would sell at 6. Magic Circle would be on the fence. Chaos Max definitely would sell, and Chiwin I would hold only for my own intensive purposes. That, well, it's a $7 card right now. On top, it's like 5 on eBay though, you know, so like it's a really, really good price. That's versus the eBay price, it's like 95%, you know, or 90%, not to overhype it, but if you're looking for selling your Chiwins, it's a good unload. But I still think they will be very popular in the upcoming formats. But that's dependent on the ban list. Someone's always gambling when you buy and sell. So, thanks for watching. What did you guys think of this review? Would you like to see reviews like this on Market Watch, and where I get the sauce for what I'm covering, like Return of the Dragon Lords? I know this is 3 Market Watches in the course of 2 days, which is a lot. Sometimes people feel overloaded by it, and people don't like me always showing off a vendor, but vendors are part of the market. Independent stores are part of the market, and you guys do need to learn that there's this thing where you're able to dictate and tell the market through the volumes of cards going through somebody's hands, and it's a good sample. TCG, eBay, and even Amazon are not the end-all be-all, and it's very smart to look at stores and their buy rates at times. So, again, give me feedback in the comment section below of how this Market Watch went for you. And also, one thing to note, this is just a personal like. For $12, they've released a new Venom Deadpool Funko Pop. I love Funko Pops. And I believe it's an exclusive to Pop in a Box. I'll link it down below. Also not sponsored. But Venom and Deadpool, 2 of my favorite things combined. I thought a lot of you guys might like the design as well. And I will link this down below with Trolls Hot Buys. But what cards on here would you be selling if you had them, and what would you not? Would you change what I said personally and perhaps sold some things that I said I wouldn't sell? Or would you be keeping things that I said I would sell?